respected dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Vice Chancellors, esteemed sociologists, other dignitaries on the dais, Professor Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak, the whole architect of this program, Professor Neil Ratan, the all office bearers of Sulabh Foundation, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon, good evening to you. I would like to make my presentation in English. First of all, let me wish our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, a happy birthday at this occasion. At the outset, let me thank the organizers of this program, Professor Pathak and the team. They have honored me by giving me gold medal. And secondly, I take this opportunity as an honor for giving me chance to express my views at this August gathering. For the past 7 or 8 years, I have been making a reference of Sulabh Foundation in my classes, especially in relation to manual scavenging and stigmatization. I have downloaded quite a few videos from the YouTube. I have been going through these and showing my students and conducting the workshop debates on this. But I have no interaction with Professor Pathak until the last February when we invited him to Mangalore. We have Mangalore Sociology Association. I was the president of that, and Professor Richard was a very active member. It was completing its 25 years. We are celebrating the Jubilee, and we wish to have this celebration in the hands of Professor Pathak. He obliged and he came. Professor Neil Ratan was also there. And it is these two people inspired us. And in fact, I assured them that I will do something to promote the cause of Sulabh. And in fact, I did by introducing the paper at the university. However, I made slight change in the title. It's not Sociology of Sanitation, I made it Sociology of Health and Sanitation. And I took 3 aspects as I built up the syllabus. One is health, second is public health, and third is sanitation. Health, as we know, we invest the highest budget and emotions in health. Health is wealth, we say. How much we spend on health, how much time we spend on exercise, dieting, and everything. And secondly, the public health as amenities that provide for the first, that is health. Healthy living, cleanliness, clean environment, safe drinking water, all these things. And third is sanitation, which is fundamental and foundation to the first 2. And that is how I build up my syllabus. I thank also my Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, Professor Bhairappa, for supporting this cause. And thank you, professors, for honoring me at this occasion. About my presentation, the topic here. Before I drafted the syllabus for the Mangalore University PG course, I went through these books which were released today. I had the copy of these books. I have made a reference of all these books. And in fact, I really appreciate all these volumes. Very good content. Professor Akram, Saxena, Nagla, Tupais, and others. A lot of topics have been covered, the meaning, scope, and its extent. Maybe I am not a person to make a critical comment on this content. I am too young for them. But still, with all the appreciation and admiration to this literature, I find a small gap here, maybe research gap or study gap. And that is what I find: the philosophy of sanitation. There is history of sanitation, the development of sanitation methods, but the philosophy of sanitation. Therefore, my presentation, I have developed a short paper titled Philosophy of Sanitation and put my stray thoughts together. This would mean the ontology, the metaphysics, and the whole hermeneutical aspects of the sanitation, especially in Indian context right from the beginning. And my starting point is what the French philosopher René Descartes says, I quote, "Thus the whole philosophy is like a tree. The roots are metaphysics, the trunk is physics, and the branches that issue from this trunk are the other sciences." Therefore, we are the branches. The trunk is physics, what we see empirically, the practices and the products, and we have to find the roots right below. We have defined sanitation in different way quite logically. The provision of facilities and services and safe disposal of the human waste and other things. It's also the maintenance of hygienic condition. Sociologically, we see the Durkheimian framework, that is a move from the profane to the sacred aspect. Demo says about the pure and impure. M.N. Srinivas talks about purity and pollution. In the sociological context, we find sanitation closely linked with the purity and pollution. I have quite a few pages of literature. I just give my key aspects in this paper. Etymologically, sanitation generally is mistaken as provision of latrines. At the most, it is extended to stretch up to the disposal of waste. If you take critically, the sanitation is derived from the Latin root sanitas, which means health and soundness of body and mind. The French root also refers to the similar meaning. Hindi word swachhata is a deeper meaning. And Indian philosophy of sanitation is not only an act of cleanliness, but is also the act of sanctification. The morning session, Swamiji also made this a reference. The sanitation also means the cleanliness of the mind and the heart, something closer to this. And therefore, the spirituality of being human, concern and belonging. Therefore, it's understanding mere construction of latrines perhaps will not stop exploitation of the certain caste or certain people. And therefore, we require to get into the deeper psychological aspects of what sanitation means. In India, the task of cleaning is done by members of certain community, and they are treated as untouchables. It's also the issue of health and social with its stigma. Therefore, it is connected also to gender issue, since the majority of scavengers we find women. The studies report that women faced threats of continuing this occupation, threatening through the husbands. And it is also referred as the nature has got its own cycle of maintaining the sanitation. But we make a reference here also. In the Western countries, the beginning of problem of sanitation comes with the rise of colonization or industrialization. Whereas in India, we find this problem even before the introduction of industrialization. Therefore, there should be some other roots to this. Various guidelines in the philosophy of India are linked to sanitation. We are linked with God and religion. Hygienic practices gradually become mere religious rituals, and therefore very essential to find out original meaning of all these practices. It is quite interesting, therefore, to know how this philosophy, this thinking, the metaphysics shaped our Indian mind. That some serious study has to be gone through here. Colin McGinn, after reading the Rose George's The Big Necessity, makes a comment. Rose George brings out the medical, cultural and political aspects of sanitation, and it is having the effects on health. And he reacts to this. Most people don't want to have a think about this because of the distastefulness of the topic, and no celebrity wants to discuss about this topic. Perhaps Professor Pathak also must have faced the same thing when he took up the cause to work for this scavenging people. The writer also says at the end, I even wonder whether religion itself and the whole idea of God is produced by our self-disgust. Therefore, in this background of metaphysics, I bring in the philosophy of social science and social research, which has two aims. One is to produce rational reconstruction of social science, and second, to seek the critique of social sciences. Therefore, in the first place, there is a need to deconstruct the concept of sanitation with all its symbolism, labeling attributes and attachments, considering what is very nasty, humiliating and disgusting. People still hold on to the belief that whatever discharges from the body is polluting. Sweat, therefore we take bath. Menstruation, therefore women are secluded, even deprived. Similarly, human waste. All these are sources of pollution. Secondly, we being the critics as sociologists, we require good and committed research, evaluation and appraisal on the strategies that are used. Therefore, the philosophical part of it, I leave it here. We need to explore this metaphysics, the ontology on the system, and the hermeneutical analysis, even the semiotics of the symbolism that is involved in the whole of sanitation. Where do we stand today? Today, sanitation has emerged as an independent system. Thanks to Professor Pathak, the departure is himself. He has created a platform, prepared a turf for us for the future study and research. Sociology of Sanitation, his book, is a good compendium on this effort. Swachh Bharat is another concept that is universalized in India. Gandhiji also spoke enough on this on the Navajivan in 1919-1924. Enough literature has been covered on this. And therefore, what is our responsibility today? With the past, what is today and what is our responsibility? First one is scientific study to solve the problem. Very scientific study is required. The academicians recommend the sociology of sanitation to be studied at the college and university, and some universities have already introduced this as a sub-discipline within sociology. The UGC and ICCR need to give more pressure on these. In fact, UGC and ICCR disperse a lot of fund. We sociologists, we academicians need to take up more study in this. The existing sub-discipline of sociology is not adequately covering the issue of sanitation. We need to come out of the conventional case of syllabus, rolling and rotating. Even the paper on social problems, which is including beggary, drug addiction, prostitution, crime and delinquency, the chapter of this, what we call sanitation, in many universities missing, and that is very important. We need to include. That can be the first step. I conclude with some remarks. The departments of sociology at universities and college and other education institutions, including schools, should be informed and made aware of this reality, not merely being concerned of health and medicine, but as a social life and sociology. In concrete, I suggest 8 points here. First one is, with research, we need to deconstruct and reconstruct the concept of sanitation in sociology, historically developing. Second, develop and expand the scope of sanitation, including spiritual and ethical aspects. Improving only the physical aspects of building latrine and other things may not stop everything. Spiritual, moral aspects should be enlightened to people. Third, reach out to every citizen, designing syllabi at various levels, including primary level. Developing sociology as a specialization at the university courses, because these are the center which can support the research. 5, broad-basing the rationale for promoting research in sanitation. And 6, we, the academicians especially, should work as harbinger and catalyst of sanitation. And 7th, a sound journal as a platform to share and exchange our views. I am aware Sulabh has one magazine. I am going through that online. But something further, a journal to support the studied articles and academic studies is necessary for us to lean on to the material for this subject. And finally, we all people with all our influence and be it political or any other way, need to promote the cause of foundation and the person of Professor Pathak for a Peace Award. We should join our hands with this. On behalf of my family present here, I thank Professor Pathak and Professor Neil Ratan and the organizers, the Sulabh Foundation, for having given me a chance to express my wish. Thank you, one and all.